Hello dear learner, my name is Dr. Tarkeshwari Verma from CSV2. Welcome you in this messy open online course of Fundamental of Engineering Physics. Today's our lecture topic is the laser. Laser is the very important in our daily life. A laser an acronym for the light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. Laser is a device that generates focused, coherent beam of light. Are you thinking what's meaning of light, amplification, stimulated emission, radiation? Don't worry, we will discuss each and every concept related to the laser in today. Lasers are unique light source with several characteristics that make a invaluable across various scientific, industrial and medical applications. In medical applications, they have some key characteristics like monochromaticity, coherence, directionality, high intensity. Monochromicity, that means laser light consists of single wavelength or a color. While most of conventional light sources like sunlight, bulbs emit broad spectrum of wavelength, laser light is the highly pure in its color. This monochromatic nature allows laser to be used in application requiring wavelength control. For instance, in a spectroscopy, laser can target specific atomic transition with pinpoint accuracy, making them ideal for studying material properties at a molecular level. Similarly, in a medical procedure like laser eye surgery is also using that light. Coherence. Coherence refers to the phase relationship between the light waves in a beam. Laser light is both temporally and spirally coherent. Temporal coherent means the light waves maintain the consistent phase relationship over resulting we get the similar wave pattern. The laser light waves are the phase across the entire beam, which allow the laser to be focused in a very small point. Coherence is the crucial for the application requiring a high precision and a control. For example, in a case of holography. Directionally, laser light is the highly directional light. It emits in a narrow focused beam rather than spreading out in all directional like most light sources. This due to is the spatial coherence in a laser. The directionality of the laser beam makes them ideal for application of required long range, precious and instant in a laser cutting and welding. High intensity. Lasers are produce high light of extremely high intensity for greater than the ordinary light source. This high intensity results from the amplification process within the laser, where a large number of photons are emitted in a phase and the same direction. High intense laser beams are essential in application that required in a various fields. They have some additional properties like polarization. Laser light can be polarized. That means the electric field vector are aligned in a specific direction. This property is useful to certain optical application. What is the difference between the ordinary light and laser light? Actually, ordinary light emits the broad spectrum of wavelength, is incoherent and spread in all direction, resulting in a diffuse and less intense beam. In contrast, laser light is the monochromatic. They have single wavelength, coherent, waves are a same phase, and they are highly directional. That means they moving in a one dimension and focus intense beam. This property makes a laser light ideal for all other application. Let us see the discovery behind the laser light. The discovery of the laser is the remarkable milestone in a field of the physics, representing the previous years of the theoretical groundwork and the experimental breakthroughs. The story began with the Albert Einstein, who in an year of 1917 proposed the concept of stimulated emission, where the excited electron, when struck by a photon, emits in a second photon with the same energy, phase and direction. This principle would later become a foundation of laser technology. Fast forward in the year 1953, where Charles and his colleagues working in a Columbia University developed the MEASURE, microwave amplification by stimulated emission of radiation, which operated on the same principle as the laser, but emitted microwaves instead of visible light. Then brother-in-law of the after some year in 1960, my main is the physicist work in their laboratory made the significant breakthrough by building a first working laser. My main used a synthetic ruby crystal as a gain medium, successfully demonstrating the emission of coherent light through the stimulated emission, despite from some other scientific community. My main invention was soon recognized a provider development, and that get Nobel Prize for that also. We should know about the electromagnetic spectrum. We already studied, but here we also describe some electromagnetic spectrum. The electromagnetic spectrum extends from the gamma ray at the short wavelength end to the radio wave at a long wavelength end. The visible spectrum is a narrow since somewhere in a middle, with the blue light of the short wavelength and the red light at a long wavelength. The next shorter wavelength region from the visible is the ultraviolet. Ultraviolet light causes the sunburn, skin cancer and other skin related disease. The next longest wavelength region from the visible is the infrared. Infrared light is the invisible to the eye, but it can felt as a heat. It can cause the burn of skin and eyes. Laser operate in a ultraviolet. Next in picture we can see laser have specific work in a specific region. Region operate in the ultraviolet, visible and infrared region of the spectrum. Laser in each spectrum region present unique safety issues. Visible light has a wavelength range 400 to 700 nanometer and it can seen by the eye. In fact, that you can see the light help you avoid hazardous exposures. The near infrared has range the 700 to 1400 nanometer. It cannot be seen because the radial respector do not, because the near infrared has the range 700 to 400 nanometer that cannot be seen. However, the optical element of the eye transmit the NIR and focus the wavelength in the retina. This produces an invisible retinal hazard. For infrared, it is the completely absorbed by water before any light reaches the retina. This protects the retina from the damage. This wavelength can damage other part of the eye. but the absorption is spread over the larger area, resulting a longer allowed exposure. The ultraviolet has the potential for the photochemical damage to both eye and skin. That means the must be handled to avoid long-term hazardous exposure at low level. Laser is also sometimes hazardous and belong these categories. Let's come to our next point, basic concept for the laser. Before we started the laser production and working concept, we should know about some key factors like absorption, spontaneous emission, stimulated emission and population inversion. The absorption process occurs when an atom or molecule absorbs a photon, causing one of its electrons to move from lower energy level to the higher energy level. This energy transfer depends on the photon's energy, matching the energy difference between two levels. Once observed the photon's energy, it converts into the potential energy within the atom, exciting the electrons. This process is the fundamental in a various phenomena including photosynthesis also, where the light energy is the absorbed to drive the chemical reaction. We already studied about the photoelectric effect and other photo-related concept. Let's consider there are two energy states which are having E1 and E2 respectively, energy state having the sufficient number of electrons. If we provide the external energy in any form of the energy to the electrons that observe and get excited and reach to the higher energy state, that process is known as the absorption process. Spontaneous emission is the fundamental process in the quantum mechanics, where an excited electron in an atom or a molecule loses energy or a transmission to the lower energy state, emitting the photon. In a process, this emission occurs without any external influence, purely due to the natural instability of the excited state. Consider electron, let's understand it very simple language. Consider electron reaches to the lower energy state to the higher energy state, but they can't stay over than 10 raised to the power minus 9 second. They come back to their original position, that means they reaches to the ground energy level. If they are coming back to their original position, they release some additional energy. That additional energy can be form of the light, heat and other thing. Stimulated emission. Stimulated emission is the quantum mechanic process that which excited electron and an atom or a molecule is induced to drop the lower energy state by presence of external photon, emitting a second photon that is the identical to the first. This process is the fundamental principle behind the operation of the laser. Unlike spontaneous emission which occurs randomly, stimulated emission requires the presence of external photons or external energy. This photon must have energy equal to the energy difference between excited state and lower energy state of the electrons. When the excited electron is stimulated to the radiation to the lower energy state, it emits the photons that in a phase has the same frequency, direction and polarization as the external photon. This result is the two photons having coherent, meaning they are the identical properties. In other words, we can say that in figure we can also see this. There are the three energy state. One is the ground energy state, another one is the higher energy state and more energy level are presented there, that is known as the metastable state. If electron move the ground energy state to the higher energy state, they reaches in the 10 raised to the power minus 10 second. After that we provide some external energy to that electrons. They are reaches to the metastable state, and they are staying in the 10 raised to the power minus 3 second. After that they come back their original position, that means the ground state. Then they are releasing some specific amount of the energy, that energy in a form of light. That light is the coherent and have some special properties, and that light is also known as the laser light. Stimulated emission is the amplification of the light. Since the emitted photon is the identical to the stimulated photon, that process can lead to the chain reaction where more and more photons are produced, all coherent which are each other. This is the principal use in a laser and is also known as the light amplification by stimulated emission. Next our concept is the population inversion. Population inversion is the fundamental concept in a laser physics and quantum electronics also. It occurs when the number of the particles in a higher energy state exceed to the number in lower energy state within the material. This is the necessary condition for the operation of the laser, as it allows the amplification of the light through the stimulated emission. For the achieving to this condition, there are some factors are involved, like optical pumping. Light are used to excite the particle from lower energy to higher energy state. Electrical pumping, this an electric current is the used to excite the particle. Chemical pumping, in this concept we are using chemical reaction to release energy that excited the particles. Threshold condition, for the laser to operate, the population inversion must be reached threshold where the rate of stimulated emission exceeds the rate of absorption. Let us see the different types of component which involve in a production of laser light, like active medium. The active medium is the material which population inversion is occur. It is the responsible for the amplifying the light stimulated emission. The choice of gain medium is determined the wavelength of the laser. If we want to create particular wavelength laser light, then we use that material. In solid state laser, we use the solid material like ruby. In a gas laser, you are using CO2, helium neon gas laser or argon laser. In liquid laser, use the dye solution which can be turned to emit different wavelength. Semiconductor laser, we use the material like gallium arsenide. Pump source, the pump source provides the energy required to the excited the electrons to gain medium, creating population inversion needed to the laser action. Optical pumping, electrical pumping and chemical pumping, they are the source to we can give the electron for the excitement. Optical cavity, the optical cavity consists of two mirrors placed at either end or the gain medium. This setup in picture we can see this setup allow to light bounce back and forth through the gain medium, leading to the amplification. High reflected mirror, fully reflected light back into the gain medium. Partially reflected mirror, reflect most the light but allow the some to pass through this laser beam. Next is the output coupler. That output coupler is the partially reflective mirror in the optical cavity that allow a portion the amplified light to escape the coherent laser beam. It controls the intensity and quality of the laser light. There are some Coulomb system is also present. Laser can be generated significant amount of heat, especially high power laser. So, the Coulomb system is also required to maintain stability and longevity of the laser components. There are some types of cooling pattern where we use air cooling, often they use the low power laser, water cooling common in a high power laser, cryogenic cooling using the some advanced laser to reduce thermal noise. Power supply provide for necessary electrical power to the pump source to other laser component. This is need to be stable, well regulated to ensure consistency of laser operation. Control system, that control system manage the operation of the all laser including power level, beam quality and safety mechanism. It can be simple and basic on off control system. Next is the laser Boltzmann population factor that describe the distribution of the particle across the different energy level in a gain medium in a thermal equilibrium position. According to Boltzmann description, the number of the particle n is the higher energy state, i.e. related to the number of lower energy state by the factor power e raised to the power ei minus e j, where E is the initial and J is the higher energy state divided by K B, which is the Boltzmann constant, and T is the related temperature. At a thermal equilibrium, more particle naturally occur lower energy state, which is the required for laser action, where the population inversion more practical to the excited state than its ground state. It is the necessary condition. Achieving the inversion involved driving the system out for the equilibrium, typically using the external pump source like electrical discharge or optical pumping to select the excited particles to the higher energy level. Metastable state is the play crucial role to the process by allowing the particle to remain excited state long enough for population inversion to occur, enabling stimulated emission and laser operation. Thus, understand the overcoming Boltzmann population factor. Difference between 3-level energy state and 4 energy level state. The 3-level energy and 4-level energy system are two different type of laser configuration used to achieve population inversion, which is the essential for the laser operation. In primarily, differences between this system lies in an energy level involve the efficiency or achieving the population inversion. In a 3-level energy system, energy level in a ground state, the lowest energy level where most particles reside initially. Excited energy in this energy level to the particle are pumped. Intermediate state, the energy level which is laser emission occur in a particles return to the ground state. Particles are pumped from the ground state E0 to an excited state E2. From E2, particle rapidly decay to lower energy state E1, which has relatively long lifetime. Laser emission occurs when the particle drop from E1 to ground state E0. Population inversion is difficult to achieve in this system because the ground state is the highly populated and more than half the particles need to be level energy system. Example is the Ruby laser. 4-level energy system. First is the energy level in a ground state known as the E0, the lowest energy level where the particle reside initially. Excited state E3, the energy level to which particle are pumped. Upper laser level is named as E2, the energy level from the which laser emission occurs. Lower laser level E1, the energy level above the ground state which is the particle drop after the emitting photon. Particles are pumped from the ground state to a higher energy state, quickly decay non-radiative to upper laser level. Laser emission occurs when particle drop from E2 to E1. From E1, particle quickly decay to the ground state E0, effectively depopulating E1. Population inversion is easier to achieve in this system. More challenging to achieve population inversion in 3-level system. Significantly energy input excited more in a half the particle. In a 4 energy level system, it is easier to achieve population inversion, more efficient and typically used in a modern laser fabrication. Lasers have wide range of applications across various fields due to their unique properties such in a coherent, monochromicity and a high intense. Here are some very important fields where lasers are widely used, like medical applications. In a case of surgery, lasers are used in a various type of surgeries like eye surgeries known as LASIK, where the and dermatology, laser treat as the conditional like acne, skin, wrinkle and many more type of tattoo removal, and also laser use in a cancer treatment. Photodynamic therapy is use the laser to active photosensitive drug to kill the cancer cell. In a field of communication, fiber optics communication is the best example for that. Lasers are used to transmit data over long distance through the optical fiber. The high bandwidth is the speed of laser communication make it ideal for the internet and the telecommunication. Satellite communication, lasers are used in a free space. Optical communication between the satellite or from the satellite to ground station. In a field of manufacturing and material processing, lasers are used to precious cutting and welding of the material like metal, plastic and ceramic in different industries. Selective laser and laser melting are used in a additive manufacturing to create complex part of layer by layer is called as the 3D printing, making and engraving. Laser engrave or mark product with serial number, barcode or design, providing high precision and durability. In a scientific research, spectroscopy is widely used. Lasers are used in a Raman spectroscopy, fluorescence spectroscopy and other techniques to study molecular and atomic structure and their properties. Military and defense. High energy lasers are being developed for missile defense, targeting and neutralizing threats, range finding and targeting. Laser provide the precise distance measurement for targeting in military applications. Entertainment and art industry. Light shows. Laser create the dynamic visual display in concert, festival and other entertainment event. Holography is the also example of the laser. Laser produce hologram for the data storage and security process also. Environmental monitoring, LIDAR, light detection and ranging. Lasers are used in a LIDAR system for mapping terrain, forest, monitoring atmospheric study in autonomous vehicle navigation. Pollution monitoring, laser detect major populations in a atmosphere, water and soil. Consumer electronics, optical storage devices, laser read and write data on CD, DVD and Blu-ray disc. Printers, in a field of printers, laser printers are widely used that create high quality text image on a paper. In field of the security and law, biometric sensing, lasers are used the fingerprint, retina and facial recognition system for security purpose. Speed guns, police are laser based speed guns used to measure the speed of vehicle. Lasers are versatile tools that have transferred many precious control and efficiency. Their application continue to expand in a technology advance, making them integral to both everyday life in advanced scientific research. So dear learners, in today's lecture we learned about the basic concept of laser production and their various application in different field. In upcoming lecture, we studied about different types of lasers and their fabrication. Hope so you enjoy this lecture. Thank you for your being patient.